Hello, welcome to our interview. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
I am Uğur Önal from Istanbul Technical University Game Design and Development Club.
I'm Peter Petrov from unregistered yet company with just team of 2 members, Team PyDev Bulgaria.
Okay, I was about to ask you introduce yourself to our audience. If any other information you want to give about yourself.
Well, about me, just ask direct question because I feel more comfortable to be asked direct questions. Otherwise, it could be endless talk.
Okay. I can ask you about what do you do for a living? What is your position in your company?
Well, basically, for a living, I'm working on another company. I'm employed by a big mobile gaming company, and ColorBlend Effects, my personal project, is basically just my personal project working on it in the free time for now. We're seeking publishers and investors in order for me to leave my commercial job and actually concentrate on ColorBlend Effects in full time with the boy I'm working on that game.
Nice,
but otherwise, great. I'm a professional game developer working in business intelligence at GameLoft.
Nice, great. That's great. I can ask you about your teammates.
Only one.
Okay.
And he's the music composer, and he's one of these kind of shy guys. Like, it's me who communicates with other companies and gives interviews. He is just making the music and sound design of the game. And actually, he's my best friend in life anyways.
That's great.
Well, basically, we're a team of friends. There are other guys too, but I'm not considering them as teammates. One of the guys was drawing the pictures of most of the things, especially the design of the books in the library level, and was giving some ideas about design. And other friends are merely testing the game and nothing else. But as production, it's only me and the music composer.
Great. We can see the video of your game in the background, but would you want to explain your game to our audience?
Yeah, sure. Feel free to play the trailer with sound, because I don't have control on my background sound right now. But you have the video.
Okay.
And let me just mute my Discord because another one technical thing happens here, and I just have to quit Discord.
Okay. What is ColorBlend effects? What do we do in this game?
It's 2.5D, obviously. Puzzle platformer with some Metroidvania elements. It's actually a Metroidvania, but not in the demo, because in the demo you only see things that you can't visit, but you never gain an ability to visit them. The game tells a story about the Splatians, those smooth things that you see in the background behind me.
Yeah.
And their conflict with the evil world Ashen, who got enraged and eaten the color out of the world. The gameplay-wise, the game is all about traditional platforming mechanics and physics, and obviously traditional platformer mechanics mixed with the color splatting puzzles. Like, you can stomp on slimes splat paint all over the place, and you become colorful as well. You need to pass through access control scanners. There are different things, like there is an area with the power and electricity puzzles. The electricity is only flowing through cables in specific color and things like that. Basically, it's about color matching.
Nice. It sounds like a great game. What is the unique selling point of this game? I wonder that a lot.
That's my favorite question, and it's everything mixed together. Like, the great games, I couldn't actually see something specific to be very unique in games like Limbo and Insight and Little Nightmares. They're just great games. The entirety of the games, the art style, the puzzles, the feeling, the story, if there is one, this thing combined in whole is what makes my game unique. Not just the color mechanics, which by itself, almost I never seen that in other games. There are other games that play with color. There is a game named Hue that I definitely recommend to everyone. It's very inspired by Limbo, including the dark graphic style. But in my game, I decided to be the other way around and instead to be a light style, but with other sense of without the color, it still feels like there is something wrong with this world, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I get
anxiety
you.
feeling, when, especially with the music arrangement and the background ambient.
Yeah, I get you. What was your starting point to develop this game? What made you want to do this game?
Well, it's big story, very big story. But if I compress it down to several sentences, well, everyone was playing Minecraft back in the days.
Yeah.
And everyone was making one voxel-based Minecraft clone back in the days. There was nice games that ended up from this era, like Trove, like Rust, or 7 Days to Die. And I was making one as well. To the point of I actually made a voxel engine, an almost playable prototype, when I realized that such a project is extremely difficult to make. But with this voxel designing technology that I have, I turned that into a level editor. And with this level editor, I basically make the scanner in the world of ColorBlend effects. And I decided that I just can't work on a big survival open world game. And I canceled that one project. But with leftovers from it, I decided that I will make instead 2.5D puzzle platformer. That's because I actually played both Limbo Inside and Little Nightmares, and Ori and the Blind Forest, and Hollow Knight, and Axiom Verge, and the classic Metroid, Super Metroid for SNES, actually. And I was, why I don't actually learn more about Metroidvanias? And the only way you can learn is not by reading lectures, but by playing games. And I spent one entire year of my life, it was 2016, in playing different games to gain inspiration from. And then I go to the drawing board, started drawing schematics. I can actually show you one of these. If the camera is good enough to focus it and don't screw it up. And of course the camera screwed up because zoom. Okay, looks like that's impossible. That's impossible because the zoom background remover is removing the piece of paper. I was feeling that I can show that to you. Oh, okay. Visual glitches. But back on the drawing board, I was drawing schematics on different level designs, different ideas, different mechanics that could be included into basically into any platformer. But I started thinking about what if I take my very old game. I was making a game named ColorBlend Effects in Game Maker 10 years ago. And it was just a platformer where the colors were a thing, but wasn't that interesting. And then back in the days, I was making also physics-based Tetris. The game was named Quantomino, and it had a small story behind it about a quantum physics facility, about a girl named Renina Taylor, and the idea that they make a cataclysm in a spatial quantum particle reactor that destroys the world as a side effect. And this thing gave me the idea to actually change that backstory a bit. It's a very deep story, but I decided to change that story and create the current story of the current game based on that. So basically, Ranina, the goddess Ranina, is a character from ColorBlend Effects, who she is the only remaining human being because this game is a post-humanity fiction. And the humanity, back at the time, when the humanity was alive, Ranina got a Nobel Award of Physics by creating...
Oh, God bless you.
a Nobel Award of Physics for creating a spatial... she was researching about matters, antimatters, and basically the governments stole this work from Ranina and created a creature that wants to possess the world and make everyone sad, everyone to feel sad and tired and unhealthy, and basically destroy the humanity. However, the creature named Ashen broke out the protection that the scientists done on it and possesses all the scientists, then possesses the entire humanity, except Ranina, because Ranina knows everything about this thing, and she knows the anti-thing. Like, you created it, you can defend it from it. You can defend yourself from it. As a result, the humanity vanished, it was destroyed, and Ranina survived. And Ranina created the Splatians, these creatures, but also Lord Ashen in this state right behind me, created his army of followers. And basically, it's Ashen versus Ranina. Splatians versus the Ashing, or the Ansus Ingwas clan, or the clan of Ash, the Grey clan.
Okay.
And that's the story of the game. Ranina created the special crystals of essence that can protect the core in case something happens to it. And when Lord Ashen did the thing and destroyed all the cores, the crystals of essence wasn't affected, and that's the reason why some things keep the core. Splatians need to find all these core crystals, or the crystals of essence, and mix them together in a spatial machine, basically in the quantum facility in that particle reactor from my old game, which is doing a cameo appearance here. And this way they will restore the world and everything will be back to normal.
Great. It was a very colorful story about your start of the game. And it was a really nice story of the real game.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about, you told about your inspirations and so on, but out of all that games you can do, why this one?
That's a very tough question.
Okay.
And basically, you should play all these games anyways, because they are nice games as well.
Okay.
This is very hard question, because everyone is asking me, and my answer is the game is unique by itself as a whole. I can't judge on like everything you create. When you write a new book, you write a new story, you play with the story, you play with the characters, you create something. And I don't know, actually, when John Rowling wrote Harry Potter back in the days, big publishers rejected it for the story for being too different, non-trendy. And when Bloomberg come by and they decided to just experiment, release that in limited quantity, and people was buying it like a bread, and John Rowling is now a multimillionaire, you know.
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't trendy, and things like that happens. I'm sure that this game won't be that of a success. That this isn't the next Harry Potter, I know. Sadly, this isn't even a multiplayer, I know. But single player games are here to life, and every one of us loves single player games.
I want to ask you how many years or months or how many time do you develop this game?
So this project started in a very slow pace in 2017, when I transitioned from the previous project, Crafteria, the Minecraft clone, to the current project. But also, I was working on a remake of the old physics Tetris, and I was also trying to play with VR and things like that, and I wasn't focused. But at some point of time, I made the first colorful level of this game with placeholder characters. Actually, it was the character from the old game was the main character, and I decided, why I don't create actually something that's more like an organic creature. And I decided that it would be good. And at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, I released the first demo that was only one level, and asked some friends to play it. And actually, there's 2 streamers that played it, and I've decided why I don't start working on this in a much focused manner. But then I skipped another year because I have issues at home and with my parents. So I resumed the work in full in 2019, and basically the entire 2020 and until now, the game transitioned in just a single level, from just a single level to the current demo that is released, and it have much more content than it had before. But also that's a project done in the free time, which is very limiting
of course.
in terms of time. But I'm still pushing it because I'm liking it.
It's a quite long period to develop a game. So I want to ask you, is the games changed from your original vision? Of if so, how did it change?
Basically, I recreated the first level from scratch to make it work better. And I created the full idea of the game in 2019 when I wrote the major story and the major design document for it. When I decided that I will be committing on this project for serious. And also that thing made me work much faster than on the game. Still, though the time constraints are actually when we started working from home due to current COVID situation, then I had much more time to work on ColorBlend effects. That's the reason why for just 6 months, I get content as 5 times more as what I did previously in 3 years.
Nice. Our audiences also wonder about the technical aspects of this development process. So I want to ask you, in which engine did you develop this game?
This is made in Unity.
Unity. Okay.
Yeah.
Unity is a very popular game engine.
It's very popular, yes, but also sadly there are people that are just making trash and acid flips in that engine. But don't forget, there can be nice games coming out of Unity too. I was considering Unreal Engine at some point, but found out that Unreal Engine is extremely hard. And then Epic did the stupidity they did with Apple and Google, and I've decided that I can't have business trust in them anymore. And that's the reason I told myself I will stick with Unity, just because Unity is much more customizable for me. Even if it's not open source, it's much more very well documented from a programmer point of view. And I can literally implement any kind of graphics algorithm and custom shaders I can, while in Unreal doing these things may require recompiling the engine, especially of like I have the vertex painting, like, you know, when you stomp the swarms that they paint on the world and they paint on the meshes, and that this thing you can see on the background isn't even the last version of the paint. If you play the demo, you will see that the paint is much more evolved now.
You explained it before a bit, but I want to ask you, what is the game art style, this game's art style, and what did inspire you to do this art style?
This art style was originally before I stick with this art style, I was thinking that the game should start in a normal colored level, in a normal looking level, but then something catastrophic must happen, and it must destroy the color in some way. Originally, I was going with the pure monochrome style, but I decided that just the monochrome style isn't enough. It isn't atmospheric, and then I've decided that I will just make all the albedo of the textures completely white. Everything will be based only on the normal maps and ambient occlusion. And this will turn into very unique style. I've never seen this exact style in any other game. Yes, there's games that are light. There are games that are low poly without textures. But whatever you see here, it's white with textures. But the textures are all white as well, except in the first level. And in the things that must have color because of the story. And after several iterations, including initially, I was testing around style where everything is made out of paper, but I decided I'm not Nintendo and I'd better not go this way because it will be much more hard for me, because it will require much custom art assets, which I can't afford. And instead, I will go with licensing stuff from game textures and substance source. It will be much more easy for me to make this art style. You see,
it looks great. I want to also ask you, which programs did you use to create this game's art elements?
To create what?
Game's art elements. I mean, textures, audio, and etc.
So the textures, like retexturing assets, because most of model packs are model packs available in Unity Asset Store, but I had to retexture everything because they weren't fitting the art style of the game. So I'm working with Substance, Adobe Substance. A Substance Painter is the main thing I use for overpainting stuff. And of course, Photoshop, everything from Adobe, in fact. Everything that's included in Adobe Master Collection, the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. I'm using Premiere and After Effects for making the video trailers. And
What about the 3D models?
The 3D models, 3D Studio Max.
Okay.
In case I need to model something myself, because there are such models that just cannot exist, like the Splatians, the elevator in Spark, and some custom models like the coin acceptors, the pipes, the color scanners, and all this quantum technology were things that I had to do myself. They were being done when, with 3D Studio Max. But most of the other assets, environmentals like these trees, that's actually the default Unity tree, just with change textures. Most of these are model packs from the asset store.
And about the audio?
The audio, well, at least here I have a music composer. A friend is making this using FL Studio. And the rest are other things that comes from asset packs or from other music packs from the asset store. Unity very occasionally release highly discounted big bundles. And there was a bundle named Giga Music Pack. And in this bundle, there's a lot of ambient sound effects as well. And for other things is I managed to credit everyone in the credits. This is a Creative Commons attribution licensed tracks from freesound.org. Things like footsteps and things like, I still had to post-process them in Audacity to fix them or things to make that. Initially, we were considering to go with solution like Vice or Fmod, but Unity's audio system is well mature enough, so I basically wrote my custom mixer, and all this mixing of the music tracks and the ambience is done by my code, so I decided we won't go overcomplicated with the Vice or Fmod, and instead we use my own sound engine. That's based on the Unity one.
Well, I finished my questions, but there may be some things I missed that you want to explain. Do you want to add something?
What should I add? Oh, I guess it's time for self-promotion here. First, the demo on Steam is the first demo I've released it like 6 months ago. It was the first evidence of the game existing. But 2 days ago, I released a huge update to the demo with all the new patches and all the new content. And if you like this game, you should definitely go try the demo on Steam and wishlist. Also, you should be better to follow me on Steam and on Instagram. And all the soundtracks, the original soundtracks, I mean, that's done by my composer of the game. The theme of the campfire, the beat in the hell, like the hell cave. This is the Ashen Slayer. It's available on Spotify.
Great.
And Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, and even on Instagram Music and TikTok.
I will make sure to listen then.
Yeah. So feel free to try the demo. Everyone who wants, feel free to try the demo and wishlist. I'm occasionally giving out away keys from the closed beta, because we're soon entering into the closed beta state, where I will be testing level design things on Steam in a beta branch, but they won't be polished and won't be complete. Like, this will be blue box style of maps without backgrounds and things like that.
Great.
Also this trailer there, I can't believe how old is this trailer, but I just don't have the time to record a new trailer. There are much more trees and much more details in this forest level right now.
I'm sure you'll get to it because you seem determined about this game. So
hopefully.
I'm glad to meet you. Thank you for interviewing with us. Hope to see you in the next interviews.
Very, very nice. Also, there's some streamers or influencers here. Feel free to stream the demo. It's huge enough, 1 hour, more than an hour, depending on your pace. Because I don't know how much this extended demo will stay alive. At some point of time, I will eventually find an investor and publisher, and I will have to take that demo down.
Okay. Thank you. See ya.
Okay.